that's right. Just moments ago, I received an email from a Robert A. Ferguson saying that he has officially dropped out of the race. And I'm just going to read this to you. Like I mentioned, we just got it moments ago. His statement reads in part, "I realized my campaign would appear to be an anti-running against the bulldozer, but I always thought that we lived in a free country where anyone could run for public office, no matter how much of an underdog they were. If this isn't election interference and voter suppression, I don't know what is." Now, these statements come after Attorney General says cease and desist letters were actually dropped at the homes of the two Bobs over the weekend. They both had until 5 p.m. to drop out of the race. That's according to laws with the state Secretary of State. So we're also just getting some of those statements in from him. State Secretary Steve Hobbs says voters deserve good faith candidates who are running on the strength of their ideas to make Washington a better place to live and work, not people who pay a filing fee just to manipulate elections. Washington's long history of free and fair elections must be protected and preserved every year and campaign cycle. Now, again, this has been ongoing throughout the entire day. Bob Ferguson, Attorney General, actually had a press conference earlier today. And he basically talked about how it was anti-democracy Republicans who orchestrated a deceptive and illegal scheme to deceive voters and illegally influence the election. Though that's where you see some of those memes that sparked throughout the day. But he says it's RCW 29A that actually goes back 80 years, back to 1943, before social media. And it seems like that law was written in place for a day like today, because that actually calls on duplicate or fake names that simply just can't be added into a ballot if that's the intended goal here, to deceive voters. So looking at that, the law states that anyone doing so can face up to 10 years in prison. So we also heard from the other Bob Ferguson. Now, we learned a little bit about them. One of them was from Yakima. The other one was from Graham. They both filed, as you're seeing here on screen, under Bob Ferguson. And we know that they both did this at the same UPS store. The other Bob Ferguson, who dropped out just before 2 p.m. today, said that he claims that he was harassed and threatened with legal action. His statement earlier said, "I believe this shows that the other candidate fears he has not effectively done enough to stand out, or that he thinks voters are not competent enough to think for themselves." So again, this has all been developing throughout the day. We had reached out to the state secretary before, and like we've mentioned, those ballot distinctions could have been made, and that is exactly what Attorney General Bob Ferguson was actually calling for. If these two Bob Fergusons were to remain in the ballot, he was asking for their names, their initials, and possibly even their job titles to be added into the ballot to make that clear distinction for voters. That would definitely show, for example, Attorney General Bob Ferguson. That would let voters know exactly who they're voting for. But again, just as of moments ago, we're learning that it is now only Attorney General Bob Ferguson who will be in this race for the gubernatorial seat. So, of course, we'll stay on top of this. And for more details on this ongoing story, just head on over to our website, fox13seattle.com. Back to you.